With Mahasiddha confusions, a very common situation is when you are looking at Virupa, painting or sculpture. Now, Virupa has a number of different forms. As a matter of fact, generally it is said, really from the 14th, 15th century, that there are 6 forms, main forms of Virupa, and similar to Padmasambhava and his 8 forms, the 6 forms of Virupa reflect 6 different important episodes in his life story, in his hagiography. Now, Virupa has the appearance of a siddha, and the appearance of a siddha is actually the same. It's synonymous with a heruka. Heruka appearance means looking like a one-faced, two-armed form of the deity, Chakrasambhara, Hevajra, Mahamaya, any semi-peaceful, semi-wrathful, highest yoga tantra male deity. Wearing bone ornaments, Khatvanga staff. So Virupa typically has these 6 appearances, and one of the appearances is with his right arm raised towards the sun, with a finger pointed upwards, and the left hand holding a skull bowl, seated in a relaxed position, not in a Vajra posture. And often he'll have a meditation belt, and he will look disheveled, as the siddha appearance often does. Now, this is one of the common forms of Virupa. He could have the left hand raised, but it would have a different meaning. He could have the hands in a Dharma teaching gesture at the heart, again, different meaning. We're specifically talking about Virupa with the right hand raised, which actually follows the famous story of him having a very large bill for alcohol at a local tavern in North India, and he's unable to pay the bill, so he holds the sun in the sky and says he will pay the bill once the sun sets, but he does not allow the sun to set. He holds it in the sky with a wrathful gesture of the right hand. Okay. So we have this, it's very common in scroll work painting, and it's very common in sculpture. But we also have a Nyingma figure. We have a Nyingma teacher named Shrisimha, who is said to be from a similar time period, maybe even slightly earlier than Virupa, according to Nyingma history. And Shrisimha also is depicted with the siddha appearance. Bone ornaments, disheveled, long hair piled on the top of his head. And like Virupa wears flowers in his hair. Wearing flowers in the hair for men in the 8th, 9th century, India was considered not the fashion. And so this is actually textual. It's actually in the Hevajra Tantra about wearing the flowers. Now, with the Nyingma teacher Shrisimha also wears the flowers, but he also has the right hand raised to the sky, sometimes with the finger pointed in what can appear to be a wrathful gesture, other times with an open hand, and he sits in a relaxed posture with all of the Heruka Siddha appearance regalia. Sometimes with a Khatvanga staff, as does Virupa, sometimes having a Khatvanga staff. So these 2 figures look almost identical in painting and sculpture, so you have to look very carefully to be able to distinguish them, either through inscription or through minor iconographic details, such as is it a wrathful gesture that is being portrayed in the right hand? Or is it an open palm gesture? Is the head turned upward following the gesture, or is the head turned down and to the left? So there's certain characteristics we can look at to see if this is truly a Virupa or a Shrisimha. Just something to be aware of.